fantasize, he does.
I thought so. We're getting into the post-caffeine phase, I notice. So the moving to the next drug of choice, and after that, we'll see what happens. So we're getting towards the end of the Friday in terms of the talks up here. I just want to let you in on a couple of the scheduling things. As you know, there's a concert starting at around 11:30 down on the Mez. That'll go probably to about 2 or 3 in the morning. Should be a lot of fun, pretty rocking. Some Chip.
Yeah. Shameless plug. He spoke at 12 o'clock, Showdown. What was it? Showdown for Pen Testers. Good speech, by the way. Oh, it went out already. The demo gods is speaking.
Right click.
Control delete. Yeah. All right, so detecting and defending your network using Nepenthes or Nepenthes, however you want to say it. So who am I? Marco Figueroa, Marco Hacker, Neil Caffrey, Michael Weston. If you don't know him, look him up. I definitely recommend you look him up. So some of the people that don't know me here, they might think of me as this. But for my boys and everybody in the crowd might think of me as this. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I want to be known as this. Who wouldn't want to be? Einstein, my idol. So, let me paint the picture for you. Oh, credibility slide. While I'm here, I spoke at DEF CON 16, spoke at the Last Hope, now I'm at the Next Hope. A consultant for Fortune 100 companies, published for Hack 9. Raise up, Kev. Kevin, raise up, man. I got to give him a shameless plug, too. Get up, bro. This is my brother, Kevin Figueroa, right here. I gotta give him a little credit, because 10 years ago, he brought me here. And that was the first con I ever been to, and I've been addicted, like a crackhead, to hacking ever since, so thank you, Kev. All right, so let me paint the picture for you, and let me get into the meat of this. Back in 2003, Canada, a grid basically blew, it cascaded down into New York, and there was a blackout. Obviously, the people from New York remember. Now, what they didn't tell you was that in 2003, that same week, the slammer worm came out and infected that network. So allegedly, I'd like to use that word, it infected, and that's the reason why there was a blackout. But I would say just do your own research, look it up, but from my perspective, that's the reason why the blackout occurred. So, cyber insecurity, this came out in April. Tony Blair testifies at the Intelligence Committee. Malicious cyber activity is growing at an unprecedented rate. Google search, NPR, cyber insecurity. He's saying we are losing the battle. It's just too much for us to handle, and that's the government, Americans, whatever you want to call it. The private sector, the government sector, shit is going to shit, but we got to fight back. So here's my hacker highlights. Back in June 2007, 20 terabytes was stolen from the government. Now, what I can't understand is how 20 terabytes are stolen and nobody knows. 20 terabytes is the Library of Congress. You know how much data is that? It's a lot of data. So August 2008, during the campaigns and stuff like that, way to go, Badian. Late, fashionably late, bro. Hackers gained access to the McCain and Obama headquarters and basically hack emails. July 2009, cyber attacks were launched against the government and private sector. Now, here's the cake. Virginia Social Security Agency was basically hacked. They basically encrypted all the Social Security's numbers for Virginia and basically asked for a ransom for $10 million. Guess what Virginia did? Any guess, besides the people in the front row? Yeah, they paid that $10 million. But here's the cool shit. The guy was really honest. He basically gave him back the information and was like, you know what? Not only you can have your shit back, and I won't post it up in a forum, but here's what I did to hack it, and here's the fix to it. So I thought that was kind of like honest in a sort of way, like pen testing way. Like, I broke into your shit, and then now you got to pay me. All right, now here's the fix. So I thought that was cool, and I was just like, holy shit, man. That dude got some sacks. So, this, I don't know if any of you seen Zeus. I gave it, the Malware Award of the Year. Now, I don't know how many work in corporations, large corporations, and you have these applications to push out your apps and stuff like that. The Zeus backend has the ability to push out applications. I would roll it out in my corporation. So I don't give a damn what anybody says. Like, if it was me, this is what I'll use, because you can push applications, you can format hard drives, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. If you Google Symantec Zeus, the first link, they have a video on the underground like websites. Obviously they block it out, but we hackers, we know exactly where these forums are. And they have like botnets for sale that's running Zeus. Like $400, I think, gets you like 400 or 500 machines. And if you want to pay a lot of money, like $1,000, $10,000, you get a lot of machines. So definitely look this up, man. This is one of the baddest malwares. And another thing I want to say, this isn't one person creating this. This is like a crime family. This is like a team of people in Brazil, China. This is a whole team doing this. So, I mean, kudos to them. Probably got an SVN somewhere. So, what is Nepethys? What is a honeypot? It's a versatile tool that collects malware. Nepethys, or Nepenthes, emulates known vulnerabilities. Basically, when a binary hits the box, it downloads it for you to go ahead and reverse engineer and find out what the hell's going on. So, come on, work, clicker. Know thy enemy. AV and IDS refine signatures to detect it. So if there's no signature, it won't detect it. And I don't know about you, but Symantec, anybody work for Symantec here? Please, no. All right, cool. They're shitty. For that, don't even have an AV. Yeah, they're really, really bad. Yeah. Yeah. So the better and more we know about malware, you know, we could push up to them, give them the information they need to set us, give us a signature and stuff like that, and you know your environment, what's going on. So when collecting malware, you also could generate statistics for your employer and tell them, listen, this is what we need. We need you to roll it out, and we need it now. So it gives you the statistics you need to basically go ahead and have the ammunition to get your shit. So I was consulting at a company that has 200,000 workstations. Now, that is insane. It's hard to manage. It's hard to know what's going on everywhere. So when they got infected, and I think maybe like 10,000 machines got infected, they told me, you know what? We have the money. We're a Fortune 100 company. It doesn't matter. We'll throw money at the problem. Virus impact, that's not a problem. We'll throw money at it. What happened was their manufacturer facility where they manufacture their drinks, soft drinks, so you have an idea of where I was consulting at, basically got hit with a virus and it came to a halt. And they was like, oh my God, what do we have to do? So they sent us to Brazil to fix it. And I was like, you see, should have listened. So what I did was introduce Nepenthes. And when I introduced it, I was like, first we need to know where's our attack vector. And then once we figure out what's going on and we find out the signatures and stuff like that, we can update the clueless AVs so they could give us the signature so then we could push it out. So the last thing I like to say about Nepenthes is free 99. If you don't know what's free 99, for anything free for me, I want. So I know you said Shodan. I'm going to take a look at that tonight as soon as I jump off. So it's free. It's up to you. So, yeah. So this is how we basically rolled it out in that corporation. They have a business unit in every country in the world. So what we did was, we didn't want to do that. We took the Nepenthes collector and put it in the biggest business unit in that company. And then we pushed it up to CW Sandbox, which is an automated analysis suite. Here's the thing. That's not free. It costs $12,000. But here's a trick, right? We're hackers, right? So you call the company. You didn't hear this from me, not from Marco. You call the company. You ask them, I want to try your product out. Give me a 30-day trial. Do I have to say more? I don't think so. So once they give you that 30-day trial, there goes your software. Now, depending on how good are you, I think you could get it for free. Exactly. So once we put it on the network, we seen 150 to 200 malware like binaries hitting these boxes. It was rampant. And we was like, you see, should have listened to me earlier. We didn't spend that much money. Now we know where we're getting hit at. And it was better for us. And it was free, so I looked like a superstar. I was like, you see, now you don't have to spend $100,000. You could give me that money. They didn't do it, by the way. So Nepenthes has vulnerability modules. I'll get into later why I think Nepenthes has limitations. You could add basically like modules to it. They don't have good documentation on it. The shellcode, thank you, Kevin. Shellcode handler and download handlers they have as well. I don't know if you could see that. What I've seen, there's not a lot of updates with Nepenthes. I think the last thing there is MSO5, yeah. So it hasn't been updated, and I think that was shitty too. You know, if you're gonna put out, even though it's a good honeypot, I think you should basically update it on a consistent basis, and they don't do that. So the Windows lovers in here, I'm sorry, they don't have a binary for you guys, so you could install Nepenthes, but here is the installations for BSD, DBN, Zero Chaos, Gentoo. Source, your source is there, so it's easily, you could just basically run it, download it, just type Nepenthes, and it starts working. It's just right there waiting for it to capture some binaries, so that's what's cool about it. Okay. Come on, clicker. Yeah, there we go. So here's some of the malware analysis captured with Nepenthes. As you see, CWS version, which is a little old, but when it stores files, it stores it with an MD5 hash. You could basically see the log path, what's going on, the file name MD5. If you go to the next slide right now. So if you see towards the bottom, it tells you the create process and the installation, and once it installs, you see the destination file called Windows System 32 armin.exe. Now, that is pretty fast. So, you see the PID, the file name. If you look down, it has the start time, create process. So here's the interesting stuff. Now, it's starting to look to go ahead, the Armin. It's looking to connect to, my niece, close your eyes, there's ccc.serveftp.com. So it tries to connect there, it can't resolve. And then it goes to the next one, sexcc.ath.cx, and it resolves to that IP address. So that malware basically went out to connect to a botnet. So if you see in the next slide, here's the cool shit. It connected to 6666, protocol IRC. Look at the nick it tried to use, XPDEU. Windows? It's the channel name is #Tibia 2. The password is Tibia Blows. So right now you got half the battle. So not only can you submit to Symantec the signature of where it's infecting, but as well as the signature for your IDS. So it connects, it opens up a local port at 1910, socket 1392. Let's get to the meat of it. All right, your general approach. So when you set up a controlled environment, you want to obviously have VMware and stuff like that. You want to perform behavioral analysis and examine the interaction with the environment. Like there's 90% you can use CW Sandbox to do stuff like that, but then there's the other 10% that you're going to have to basically do it manually. You're going to have to go into IDA Pro, Ali Debugger, Win Debugger to go ahead and find out